Thanks for much for joining me. I'm Lynn Sherritt, and this is Faces Friday. This is a week to celebrate as we all go back to school across Canada. In this session, educators Elaine and Mike from Manitoba are talking to my collaborative learning group, the Clarity Collaborative, about 4 big ideas. The first one is principal learning teams and how these teams in their work get clarity moving forward together. The second big idea is the learning fair and how they celebrate learning across schools, learning from each other. The third big idea is the reading writing connection and the reciprocity they're examining between reading and writing. And finally, Elaine talks about 3 Lynn words. Have a listen to the Lynn words and see if they resonate for you as they do for Elaine, Mike, and their learning teams in Manitoba.
So no, I think the when I listen to the conversations, it's important for people to articulate that work. And I'll say one of the things where we're still in well, right now I'm in the hottest spot in North America for COVID, so we're shut down pretty hard. Um, but when I'm listening to some of the conversations about the uh, principal learning growth teams, um, our schools, even though we're not as formally doing it, are maintaining that. And some of the collaboration virtually between schools has been powerful throughout this. And I mean, Elaine's got some really good examples of a recent visit at one of the lowest socioeconomic schools in the country historically. About some of the tremendous writing and the connection between the writing and reading, and a lot of it is that work that's ingrained. So I know our focus right now is we've met with all our leaders is to start making a plan to start that collaboration across schools again right at the start before school starts in August. And I think you know that collaboration and that culture and then bringing everybody in is so important. So when I listen to some of the other conversations, I think one of the things that we've done fairly well is when we bring our teams together, we're bringing in large teams from each school, from all our schools, to collaborate and share and to work on things, and that's helped accelerate it. And the learning walks and talks between schools, the informal and the formal, has really helped stimulate. And I think, Lynn, if you would see some of the writing data walls that are starting to emerge in some of our schools, you'd be impressed with some of the results. I'm going to let Elaine talk a little bit because I have some good pictures that I can't show you that I was at one of our schools where looking
Excellent.
at some of the collaboration and how they've done it virtually in different rooms is pretty amazing.
Excellent. So Elaine keeps me posted with pictures.
Yes, I was in one of our favorite schools, Lynn and I, on yesterday. Actually, I'm beginning my last round of visits for the year for the to discuss the data and look at their walls and look at things. And they're so enthusiastic. But the exciting thing for me this time was that they've included in there not only the reading scores but the writing task assessment. And we just I said, I'm almost ready. I'm almost at tears because the writing task assessment is so close. I mean, it's just not everyone's bang on, but it's a little bit above, a little bit below, but it's matching the reading assessment. And I have not seen that in many schools. And that school where, I'm not even sure how to describe it, but the lowest socioeconomic, certainly in our division, definitely in our province, for them to be working like that. And they are just so gung-ho, and they've got plans, and the kids can tell me what their goals are. And as I was walking out and the principal and I were chatting, and I had finished meeting with their team for an hour around their data, was a bulletin board that caught my eye. And of course, I've got pictures to send you, Lynn, but I haven't had a moment to do it today. And there they had their learning intention about enhancing writing, and it was written well. But the stuff on the board was poems. And for Teacher Appreciation Week in May, the principal had gone into every classroom. This is not a big school, but had gone into every classroom, and they had talked about how they could enhance their writing by writing a poem of appreciation to their teacher, an educational assistant, someone who worked in their school, the custodian. And there they were, the final product that she had done with that class. And around the final product was the students' work. In kindergarten, some of it was pictures, and they did poem writing for some of them. But I just think about what the difference is that has made. And that would be something that at a learning fair we would see. And that's what we did see. Of course, when we started them with Lynn, the results were not so great. But the fact that we take a look at data in great detail, and in fact, you'd love this, Lynn, I think. So one of them said to me, I've done my 3 so far out of the 15 schools, said, what are those 3 words that Lynn uses? And I said, and I had to think, okay, what are the 3 key words here? Not the 5 questions, but the 3 words for our work. And I said, consistent, persistent, and insistent. That's our new driver, is those 3 Lynn words. And we will be consistent, persistent, and insistent as we move into next year. So anyway, sorry about the rambling on, but it's very exciting to me. I'm very passionate about it. And I did 2 more visits today. And again, it's just lovely.
Excellent.
I think the biggest thing that I see, Lynn, is the level of specificity that when they're looking at things. So, I mean, we use reading and writing scores, and what the principals teams are starting to notice. How do you take comprehension beyond guided reading or those different things, and just specifically target what does that look like for whole group instruction, and how do they make that visible to students? And that's the kind of conversations. And then the other big shift in conversation is, how do we make sure our kids aren't just writing to a task, but they're understanding how to write to an audience and who the audience is. And 3 years ago or 4 years ago, they'd be talking about just writing and then the reading score. So just seeing the evolution of the level of conversations and the principals trying to go deeper into looking at the specific nuances of what the instruction actually is with the students and what the learning is.
And I would just love you sometime, the 2 of you, to write about the reciprocity between reading and writing, because even though we say it, I'm not quite sure that other leaders and teachers understand the power of that. So thank you, Mike and Elaine. Thanks for joining me and thinking about the importance of being consistent, persistent, and insistent in seeing quality assessment that informs instruction in every classroom. See you next week.